Language is communication. It can be oral or written. Even nonverbals and facial expressions are language. We as human beings are not limited to learn only one language. But what are the advantages of knowing an additional language? Would knowing these change the way we see our world? Let's take a look at some of the advantages of being bilingual.
I think it's when I came to America, I actually saw the importance and the benefits of being bilingual. So back at home in Nigeria, I didn't see it that way. It could have been that way, and I'm sure it would have been, but I didn't see it. I didn't appreciate it the way I appreciate it now in America.
Primero está la palabra y después está la imagen, ¿no? ¿Qué es primero, si la palabra o la imagen? Entonces esa clase de preguntas que venían para mí, yo decía, bueno, en español es para mí muy sencillo pensar las cosas, pero ¿cómo piensa alguien que habla francés o alguien que habla italiano? Y esa clase de cosas me hicieron reflexionar y me nació el interés por conocer más lenguas, además de las que ya sabía. Yo estudié literatura, entonces para mí algo que es muy bonito es poder comprender los textos en su idioma original y saber que hay muchas cosas que cambian y que cómo funciona la traducción en esos textos.
My major is film, so in order to do a movie or work on a movie, I have to watch movies. It's the same like if you want to be a writer, you have to be a good reader. So watching movies, not only movies that are in English but also in Spanish, makes me a better student, and I have more to grasp, more to learn from, rather than just knowing a specific language. Knowing Spanish opens like my options not only to Mexican movies, because I'm from Mexico, but also to movies that are in Spanish speaking countries.
Being bilingual definitely helped me in my career. So right now I am in nursing school. And as I said before, like Chicago is a very diverse city with lots of cultures and different languages. So being able to have that with me as my experience, being able to speak Arabic. If there was somebody that was to come in, I would be able to connect with them, not just to help them out medically, but definitely reconnect them and help them feel safe and secure, because I'm able to speak Arabic with them if that's the only language they knew.
My father was very bilingual. The house was full of German books and French books. He loved languages. So during World War II, he was with Patton's army. Actually, he was in charge of the tanks. And when they liberated France and Germany, he was that whole route. That other people, especially in France, were very excited. The Americans were here, they were excited that we liberated them. So they always wanted to say thank you to people. But my dad, since he was fluent in French and German, was one of the few people who could actually answer their questions and respond to them. So he had an incredible experience in just going through and meeting all the people, going to small villages and cafes, and being invited to people's houses, because he had this ability to link with them as being bilingual.
Para mí es importante ser bilingüe porque tengo la oportunidad de conocer diferentes personas, sus costumbres, sus tradiciones, y me da la oportunidad de tener un mejor trabajo y así darle una mejor calidad de vida a mis hijos.
A lot of jobs are being outsourced in other countries just because they know how to speak English. To have that ability to learn another language does, help, more likely land you a specific job having that skill.
I'm an automation engineer working for an electronics manufacturing company in which we have a lot of customers all around the world. I started working at Guadalajara, Mexico, which is a huge pioneer for the tech industry. They call it the Silicon Valley of Mexico. Mexico, they speak Spanish, so a lot of people who are bilingual has a huge leverage among others that don't. I applied and was transferred to another site in the US, San Jose. Now I know what it is like to work in two different countries, right? How they work as engineers over there, how is it working here. So basically I found a lot of good advantages in the workplace.
Yo estoy muy orgullosa de que mis hijos sean bilingües, porque aparte de que hablan el español, que es su idioma de sus raíces, hablan el inglés. Yo he visto cómo se les abren las puertas en las universidades y en sus trabajos. Ser bilingüe es una doble oportunidad. Te lleva a un éxito seguro.
And it does help you connect with people better. For example, when I go to a restaurant and I'm able to converse with them in their native tongue, they seem to be much more happy, much more receptive. Also, when I'm just meeting a stranger in passing by and they know that I can speak their language, they seem to be more willing to relate with me more.
Learning a different language helps us connect with each other, with other humans, with other people, and I think that's the main responsibility a human has, to be able to connect, serve, and interact with somebody else.
Learning languages has been a part of my travel. So, for example, I used to work in Japan, and learning Japanese, and even though I wouldn't consider myself fluent, I wasn't advanced in Japanese, but when I would go to Japan for business, I could speak to people. You know, I could say "O genki desu," and they would know what I meant, and they would respond to me. So it made me want to go back to Japan.
I'm a member of the group called the Solut, and we do different dances from different regions. I love it because it gives me more in tune with the Polish language itself and the culture, because I can understand different areas and what they do on a daily basis compared to just what I know about it. So I got to meet a lot of people, and so being able to connect with them through language, even though we've never met before, was something really cool. And I liked having that kind of challenge where I can go up to someone confidently and speak a different language to them, knowing that I can understand them, and vice versa.
Being bilingual is very important in that aspect, that you can explain things that your language can't explain. Someone from another language or another culture doesn't speak like English and they're living in an English environment, then you can help them out to be able to fit in, because if you move to another country and there's nobody who can help you out, then you're kind of like, yep, there's a big language barrier that you gotta pass.
Say you're in a situation where you don't only speak English, but you meet someone who speaks something else. You not only try to understand English, but translate it to their language. That makes you think faster. That's how I say it. It gives you this, I want to say, a passport to other cultures, because it makes it easier for you to learn and see the similarities in some other culture than the one you're quite familiar with.
Students that are bilingual have a tendency to have a broader worldview. Now, of course, this is just a generalization, because it doesn't mean that a person cannot have a broad worldview and not be bilingual. But really, bilingual, bicultural, and I want to say bilingual, bicultural, because learning the language, you really need to learn the culture. You have to learn the idioms, and you have to learn different things that are specific to that culture to learn the language. And so really, those students that are bilingual, it's like they're more open to new things, because they've experienced new things by learning both languages and both cultures.
I believe that language is culture. And by learning the language of my parents, I'm learning the language of my ancestors and people who came before me. And in a sense, I know who I am and where I came from. I say that I'm a first generation student, and I take great pride. I take great pride in being the daughter of immigrants. I don't want years now, when I have kids, I don't want that identity, that culture, and the sacrifices that my parents made to get here, I don't want that to be forgotten. And I feel like through learning the language of my parents, that's how I remember it.
As an English speaker, we almost kind of have our own multilingual background by just learning English, because English is such a rich language. There's so many influences. Barbaric conquest first, there was a Celtic, the Welsh language is a very difficult language. The Romans came to England, they took over to the Latin influences, then the Anglo-Saxon came from Western Europe. So we have all these different languages and many other influences that kind of give us this sense of richness of our language, is the fact that it has so many other languages involved in it.
I would encourage others to challenge themselves and start learning a new language, because it opens you doors that you wouldn't imagine. It also gives you good job opportunities, makes you good connections to new valuable people. It opens your mind to see the things from another point of view.
Creo que en un mundo en el que parece que nos está ganando el racismo, parece que están volviendo las cuestiones de querer una guerra o de fomentar la violencia, de segregar a la sociedad y de separar al otro. Creo que es necesario, justo en estos momentos, tener esos contactos de humanidad a través de la lengua, saber que el otro piensa distinto y que hay que entenderlo. Entonces, el conocer otro idioma te va a dar esa posibilidad.
Learning new languages shapes our experiences. We can already do so many things with one language. Now imagine how much more we can do with another. I invite you to learn another language and to be part of our bilingual world.
Hi, my name is Ruben. I live in San Jose, California. I speak English y mi idioma natal es el español.
سلام أنا اسمي سناء وبقدر أحكي إنجليزي كمان عربي.
Hola, soy José y hablo español y también inglés.
Kumusta ka? Ako si Therese. Makasalita ako ng Ingles at Tagalog. Mabuhay!
Iyere ingilio bu ajim na yanate subareko. Ainete sono ama bibifiba.
Hi, I'm Lupita. I'm from Mexico. I'm 22 and I speak 5 languages.
Dzień dobry, ja nazywam się Kacper Szumiec i ja rozumiem i piszę po angielsku i po polsku. Do widzenia!
Hi, my name is Norma. I speak English and Spanish.
예, 여러분 안녕하세요. 저 이름은 안준영입니다.
Mano vardas yra Edvardas Matas Šimonėlis ir aš lietuviškai ir angliškai kalbu.
Ako si Christine, makasalita ako ng dalawang lengguahe. Mabuhay!
Je m'appelle Paul. Je parle français un petit peu.
Hola, mi nombre es Miryam y yo soy bilingüe.